Back to what happened in the Oval Office the other day, I call it a smackdown of Zelensky. It looked really rough, but then again, at the end of the day, you may have your deal back. So was that all the art of the deal? What specifically ticked you off?
Well, you know, he was able to, it was like taking candy from a baby, what he did. He's a smart guy, and he's a tough guy. And he took money out of this country under Biden like candy from a baby. It was so easy with that same attitude. And I just don't think he's grateful. We gave him, in my opinion, $350 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. We gave him $350 billion, and he's talking about the fact that they have fought, and there's a bravery because somebody has to use the weapons. But without those weapons, don't forget, I was the one that gave him the javelins that was able to knock down all the tanks. Obama gave nothing. Look, if I were president, that would have never happened. You wouldn't have had Russia going into Ukraine. You wouldn't have had the whole situation with Hamas and October 7th. It would have never happened because Iran was broke. They had no money. They weren't giving it to Hamas or Hezbollah or anybody else. You would have never had the worst evacuation anyone's ever seen, which is Afghanistan, which was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And you know what else you wouldn't have had? You wouldn't have had inflation then.
Do you expect Zelensky to come back? Do you expect to do that rare earth minerals deal?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll happen.
Are you sure there's the content that you think there is there? Because some people were questioning if, in fact, there is the titanium and the lithium, all those the rare earth minerals. Do you think it is rich with those things?
Well, I do. I mean, I've had it checked. Okay. It's very valuable. But with all that being said, Biden should have never put up $350 billion. He should have equalized with Europe. All he had to do is say, you got to stay even with us. They're in for 100. We're in for 350. How does that? And we have an ocean in between us, right? We're not in the danger that they are. They are in much greater danger, if you call it danger. He should have never done that. You know the other thing with Europe that bothers me? They've given Russia more money, by far, for buying their oil than they put into Ukraine. So they're paying all this money to Russia, and we're in there for $350 billion. Biden should have never done that.
I spoke with the president of Poland the other day. President Duda has great respect for you.
Yeah.
And I said to him, what if the U.S. walks away and stays away? Here's what he said. Without the United States, do you believe that Europe is capable of offering meaningful security to Ukraine?
I would like to believe it, but experience to date shows that this has not been the case. The entire history so far of the last 3 years of the war shows that without American support, Ukraine will not survive.
Are you comfortable with that? The fact that you walked away and Ukraine may not survive?
Well, it may not survive anyway, but, we have some weaknesses with Russia. It takes two. Look, it was not going to happen, that war, and it happened. So now we're stuck with this mess. Think of what he stuck me with. Open borders where we have 21 million people came into our country, many of whom should not be here. Many are criminals. Many are criminals. Many murderers, drug dealers, drug lords. We got that.
Ukraine and Israel were both attacked by aggressors. Is America treating both countries similarly? Are they treating the aggressors similarly?
I think so. Look, they're
Are you favoring one over the other?
They're very different places. Okay, very, very different. You're talking about different levels of power. You're talking about different parts of the world. The Middle East has been under attack forever.
Have you been as tough on Russia as you've been on Hamas? I mean, what do you want to say to critics?
Well, I've been much tougher because I haven't done to Hamas. That's been Israel that has to do to Hamas. But Israel does tell me what's going on. Remember this. I'm the one that stopped the Russian pipeline, Nord Stream 2. I stopped it. Biden came in and he approved it. I'm the one that put sanctions on Russia. I'm the one that gave the javelins against Russia. I've been very tough, but I got along well with Putin. And because I got along well, they say, he's so... Nobody's ever been... Putin would be the first to say it. Nobody's been tougher than Trump. And Biden hasn't been tough. Biden's done nothing. He was a weak, pathetic man.
So is there anything else you want to say to the critics who say you chose a side in the Ukraine-Russia story, and that's Russia? Because, you called Zelensky a dictator and you had the fight.
Nobody has been tougher on Russia than Donald Trump. Nobody. And they know that. They know that. Just look at the things I just told you. The pipeline, I stopped it. The biggest job they've ever done was the pipeline, Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever heard of it until I came along. They were building it happily. They were going to supply Germany and everybody else all over Europe. And what did I do? I stopped it. The biggest economic job they've ever had, I stopped it. Biden got in. On the second day, he approved it. He said, let it go forward. It was totally stopped. Just that one thing alone tells you everything. No, I was stopped. At the same time, I got along with Putin. I got along with Kim Jong-un. I got along with President Xi. But nobody was tougher, like on China, than I was.
And then there are reports now that Russia says it will help the United States negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran. What kind of a deal with Iran do you want to do? You said they cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. Well, there are two ways Iran can be handled, militarily or you make a deal. I would prefer to make a deal because I'm not looking to hurt Iran. They're great people. I know so many Iranians from this country.
Well, not the leadership.
No, not the leadership.
The
no,
people.
They're very evil people. No, but the people of Iran are great people. But they had a tough regime, and they'd meet and they'd be shot in the streets. I mean, it was a tough deal. But I would rather negotiate a deal. I'm not sure that everybody agrees with me, but we can make a deal that would be just as good as if you won militarily. But the time is happening now. The time is coming up. Something's going to happen one way or the other. I hope that Iran, and I've written them a letter saying, I hope you're going to negotiate, because if we have to go in militarily, it's going to be a terrible thing for them.
You wrote a letter to the Khomeini?
Yes.
When did you send the letter?
Yesterday.
And you said you better negotiate, or we want you to negotiate?
I didn't say you better. I said, I hope you're going to negotiate, because it's going to be a lot better for Iran. And I think they want to get that letter. The other alternative is we have to do something, because you can't let them have a nuclear weapon.
You said you wanted to do the Golden Dome. You've got a lot of ideas for America. But then earlier you said you wanted to cut $1 trillion in defense spending, right?
I didn't say I was.
You're not going to. So I was like, which is it? Are you cutting defense spending, or are you building us up?
I never said defense spending.
Okay, because I think you were talking about denuclearization,
Correct.
and that's where the cutting of the spending came in.
I never said cut. No, it's not in these days. I'd love to cut defense spending, but not now. Because you have China, you have Russia, you have a lot of problems out there. No.
In fact,
no, what I have said is we spend a lot of money on nuclear missiles, nuclear weapons. The level of destruction is beyond anything you can even imagine. It's just bad that everybody has to spend all this money on something that if it's used, it's probably the end of the world.
Now, you heard what he said, right? It's probably the end of the world. Okay. So, let's go into some biblical scriptures right quick concerning the end of the world. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 50. Where's that? Right. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 2. Declare ye among the nations and publish. Set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. Right? And all that stuff is going to be destroyed, their images. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is already going through, coming against the house of Israel first, breaking down the images and idols of the people. What was his name? What's that nigga's? Was Gorilla Hebrew, whatever the fuck his name is, broke him down. IUIC, Bishop Nate, they're catching him up in lies. He's got to spin another lie in order to cover up the last lie he told concerning the MOTB, the microchip that they want to implant you or install you with. Okay, I put a video up on my channel concerning this about a man. That was a friend of an Amalekite whistleblower, David Greenberg, And this individual was a friend of his and said that this is what they plan to do as far as micro sea-hipping the populations of the people. They want to shut the power off. They want to shut off the water, because that's the reason why they came through everybody's neighborhoods in the last 3 to 5 years, and hooked up the water system that was completely separate from the electrical grid and hooked it up to the electrical grid. That way they can just flip the switch and shut off everything at once. Okay, and then tell a goddamn lie and say it was an electromagnetic pulse device from Russia or Kim Jong-il or Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin. Right? This motherfucking Donald Trump is committing war against the American people. Right? So like you. So Right. I'll start there. Jeremiah chapter 11, 50, verse 11, because you were glad, because you rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, and destroyers of the heritage of the Most High God, the Israelites, is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The Assyrian, in most biblical scriptures, are the Grecians in the book of Joel. You see what I'm saying? It all pertains to the same individual, the same race of people. Okay? The devil the Bible speaks of, Esau, Edom. Right? Because you were grown as fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Right? Amalekites, Khazars calling themselves the JEWs and are not, or the JOOs. Right? They're not the actual people, because you have to be from the tribe of Judah to be called a nickname or a surname like JOO. Okay? That's the only way that you can do that, is you're from the tribe of Judah. And Judah consists of Negroes. The tribe of Judah consists of Judah, Benjamin, and the Levite priests, which is the southern tribe of the house of Israel, separated from the northern tribe of the house of Israel after the death of King Solomon. They've been separated ever since. Okay? So, yeah. They've grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. They've used us for everything, all the types of natural resources, from continent to continent to continent, like locusts. They go from continent to continent, stealing everything they can put their goddamn hands on. Okay? Well, look, for example, Donald Trump's talking shit out of the side of his neck about Greenland. He wants to make Greenland one of the 50 states so he can use them for their natural resources, man. Come on, man. These people don't change, man. They don't change. They can't change. It's impossible for them to change. The Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai made that impossible for them to change, make any changes. They're stuck. Psalms 55:19, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Most High. Verse 20, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, he hath broken his covenant. And he broke the covenant, peace agreements with everybody on the fucking planet. Why do you think everybody is pissed off at America, Babylon the Great? First goddamn thing he did in the first month, every day, is wrote, 10, 15 executive orders, shutting down this, that, the other, taking money away from things that have been going on forever. Me personally, I can't wait till the shit actually hits the fan and the people hit the streets. That's when he's going to declare martial law, the Insurrection Act of 1798, the Sedition Act of 1798, called the Alien Enemies Act. He had already signed it back in January 20th. On April the 20th, they're going to go back to the United States, see, what they need to do in order to exacerbate the issue, pushing civil unrest and national emergency, so this way they can push martial law. Okay? And then that way they can control you. They can control your movements. They can shut off your power. They can do whatever they want to do. If you want power, you have to take the micro C-hip underneath your skin. Okay? They're going to come and take out, 15 to 25 million people that are awake, that are aware of what's going on. Okay? They're being put on a blue list, a red list, or a yellow list. Those individuals that are put on a red list are outspoken ministers, blog, individuals that have their own blog, or individuals that have their own talk show hosts that are talking against the what do you call those individuals? The imposters over there that call themselves Israeli. There's no such thing as an Israeli anywhere in this Bible, right? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. See what I'm saying? That's all they want to do is war, destruction, death. That's all they want to do. Job chapter 9, verse 24, right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We have to remember that. Who gave the earth into the hand of these Edomite devils? The Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, all that is therein in the foundations of water. Right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and he gives it into the hand of whomsoever he will. So now you understand Job chapter 9, verse 24, where it states, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. The Most High did it. Right? And setteth up over it the basest of men. And the basest of men, right? Right here. Job chapter 30, verse 8. They were the children of fools. Yep, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Now I am their song. Yep, I am their byword. They may not call us bywords and proverbs of reproach. You want to hide it from a nigger? Put it in a book. Yeah. Right? Okay. They got other proverbs that I don't know about. All the time. Got something negative to say about us. You know? Nigger, all nigger means is dark skinned. We're black. Just another term for black. Okay? But they misconstrue it and twist it and turn it upside down and to make it something more appealing to the wicked nature of an Edomite in order to keep an oppressive mind state is what I'm saying. Okay, on the people. That's basically what they're doing. Okay, if they can continue to oppress you mentally, then you won't have any confidence or have any gumption or self-confidence to fight back and talk back. And those individuals that are open, outspoken ministers, outspoken preachers and pastors, individuals standing on street corners, risking their lives and their freedom, telling you the truth to their face, they're arresting Christians on the street, so-called Christians, these Edomites, putting handcuffs on them. You've seen videos of that. They're putting them in different prisons or whatever have you, or whatever, charging them with fault for speaking against the LGBTQ community, right? All kinds of different things, man. Now I am their song, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, right? They go from the inner city and move out into the suburbs to get away from you, right? And spare not to spit in my face every time they got something negative to say about you behind your back when you walk past. What do you think these goddamn Edomites talk about when you're not around? For you individuals out there that call themselves Christians that love Esau Edom, that you love these devils, okay? You have a mental instability in your brain called Stockholm Syndrome, where it says in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33, you trim your way to seek love from these devils in order to fit in their society. When they shut the power off and they push the microchip as the only way that you'll be able to buy and sell any goddamn thing, what are you going to do? Right? The Stockholm Syndrome means that the captives have fallen in love with their captors or their slave masters. Right? And they agree with their slave master. Yes, a boss. Oh, massa, is you sick, massa? I guess we all sick, massa. That type of shit. See? But anyway, like I said before, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai done had pretty much of enough of these goddamn devils, man. Okay. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 2. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them. Them who? The Israelites. 2/3 of our people. Where it says also in the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8, right? Where it says, And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And the dead bodies refers to back to the dead, dry bones found in Ezekiel chapter 37. Right? Okay, the dry bones are our people that are not yet currently aware that they are the Israelites of the Holy Bible. And our job is to lift up a standard or a banner on a high mountain by any means necessary. And the highest mountain on earth is America. Right? So, as far as a mountain in the biblical scriptures means governments, major government. Hills and valleys are vassal states and lower powered governments that don't have as much power, but they're vassal states to the major governments, EU and NATO, right? Babylon the great city, right? The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which is full of bones. And the valley full of bones is the valley of the shadow of death, found in Psalms chapter 23 and also in Job chapter 10, verse 20 through 22. Okay? It is the valley of the shadow of death, a land of darkness with no light in it. Okay? And the light, where Yahushua had mentioned in the scripture, I think it was in the book of Matthew or Luke, where when you light a candle, you put it up on a pedestal so everybody can see the light. You don't put it under a bushel to where it's hid, right? But you put it up on a mountaintop so people can see it. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua had persuaded certain of us to go out and preach this gospel to our people, to let them know that you're living in the valley of the shadow of death. Okay? And our job is to wake you up, to make you aware that you are an Israelite. All you have to do is turn to the east, pray to the Lord, call upon his name, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Okay? Ask him for these things that you need. Okay? Just turn to the east, pray to the Lord. King Solomon had blessed the temple that was built in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua and asked that prayer, that if any of his people would turn to the east and seek his face with sincerity, okay, and ask for forgiveness for their sins, right? The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua would hear them from heaven and take the appropriate steps necessary in order to save them out of the land of their affliction, and those that afflict them to destroy them. Right? Roughly paraphrased. I think it's in 1 Kings chapter 8. Right? So, I mean, I'm like, wow. So, in the valley of dry bones, and he caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, they were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And this open valley of the shadow of death, the city, that great city called spiritual Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, was here in America. They crossed out the face of Yahushua HaMashiach and put up an image of their face, where it says in 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48, the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So they sought to paint the likeness of their images over our images. In other words, iconoclasm. Okay, the act of whitewashing history and changing everything around. History belongs to the conquerors, not the conquered. That's how they change the histories. You see? And what it means by the valley of dry bones being very dry is that they don't have any inclination or idea that they are the Israelites. They think they're just niggers, Latinos, whatever. Okay. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, thou knowest. And he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones and say unto thee, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And that's what we do. We're wayfaring men standing on street corners, risking our lives and our freedom to tell you this thing. Okay? Everybody's doing it. Shit, they're going in stores. What do you call it? Those Whole Food stores, Amazon, and telling people before they use their palm print, just walking in there at random. I seen a video of Arrows of Indignation 144 on his channel of a bunch of young men still calling upon the false name of Jeebus Crossed. Okay, but the fact that they were saying that the Amazon palm print is a precursor to the actual MOTB, the size of a grain of rice that they want to implant underneath your skin, which is a bio visa entry exit tracking system. Okay, the reason why it's bio is because it has to do with the body. It's underneath your skin, right? Subcutaneously implanted, installed underneath your skin. Okay. O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter unto you, and ye shall live. Right? And this is what it goes off into when you got Joel chapter 2, verse 28. Right? And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And you're seeing videos of individuals that are having dreams about death angels coming to destroy entire populations of people, including the elect, those that have been chosen out of the world, pre-selected from the dawn of time, and watching them fall off one at a time, falling in love with the ways of this world and the way of Babylon the Great. You see what I'm saying? And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Now, the servants of the Most High are the men that are preaching the word of the Most High on street corners. They're not those individuals that are in churches telling lies to your face, telling them everything's going to be all right. Just obey what the government tells you and you'll be fine. You know, it says the same goddamn thing in Romans chapter 13. Right? Obey thy masters. Right? You got people working out work 3-4 jobs, talking about obey their masters. They're sick and tired of this shit. Having to go to work every day, working 2 or 3 jobs, ain't getting no raise because they put a freeze on raises. Got a freeze on raises. You know what I mean? And they keep rising the goddamn prices on everything. I just watched a video this morning about it. Right? And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. And the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. We just had a blood moon on Friday. Take it back. Early Friday morning. Or no, was it? Early Friday morning. Okay. The 14th. Okay. The 14th or the 15th. Whatever. What today? What is today? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the 14th yesterday. You know, early Friday morning. Between... What was it? Between 1:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, it was a blood moon in the sky. I missed it. I'm pissed off to this day, man. I had stayed up all night and I blinked a couple of times and woke up. It was 6 o'clock. I was pissed off, man. You know, so, I mean, come on, man. You got to work 2 or 3 jobs. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And the great and terrible day of the Lord is almost here. You know? Okay. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay. The king's heart is like a stream of water directed by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. He guides it wherever he pleases. Okay. So it had to be the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the creator of all things, that put it in the mind of Donald Trump to say this thing about, we have all of these nuclear weapons, and it's a shame that we have all these nuclear weapons. We spend all this money on nuclear weapons, okay? And then if they're ever used, then that would probably be the end of the world. Come on, man. And then you got the elites that are pulling the strings of this puppet, Donald Trump, making him add tariffs on everybody, pissing off all the countries. So this way all the countries would gather together against them and agree to destroy America, Babylon the Great, from off the face of the earth. That great city, Babylon the Great. Okay? Right? And they of the people and the kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. In other words, they won't tell us or let us know or notify us and spend trillions of dollars every decade in order to hide us from who we are. Okay? As the Israelites of the Holy Bible. All we got to do is turn to the east on your knees and pray to the Lord and seek his face. By seeking his face, you seek the men on the street corners that are risking their lives and their freedom to tell you the truth and what you should need to do in order to receive the salvation that you seek. Okay, that's it. You go into these blogs and these live streams and all of these their online talking points and all this other bullshit. They're all telling you a lie, man. They want you to continue to believe this false ideology and this false Christian bullshit and believe in a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man that's going to float down from heaven in a dress and tell you how much he loves you and save you. Bullshit. If you would have been calling on the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach this entire time, we wouldn't even have this conversation. White men would have already been in chains. Okay? And, you know, white is a social construct. They even created that, the social constructs of black and white in order to further hide the fact that you're an Israelite. Because Israelites from the 12 tribes were scattered throughout all the four corners of the earth. And after 3 or 4 generations of intermingling their seed in with the women of those nations, the babies, the children, come out looking more or less like the women, right? Of those nations. And they look like the nations. So it's not a black-only Israelite thing, B-O-I, bullshit. That's not it, okay? We realize and understand the fact that our seed line have been scattered into all nations, and our people have been intermingling their blood and seed line with all of the heathens of all of the heathen nations for hundreds of years. The Israelites look like all nations now. Okay? But they took that and they misconstrued that and said that all nations can be saved. Not the Israelites that have been scattered amongst the heathen nations. But all the heathen nations, including them too. You see what I'm saying? So that is the false philosophy of supersessionism and replacement theology, where all of the heathen nations replace the Israelites that have been scattered amongst them. And the Most High said that he will not cast off his seed forever. Okay. Awake, Psalms 44 and 23. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Okay. Where's it? Psalm 60 and 1. To the chief musician upon Shushan-Neduth, Miktam of David, to teach when he strove with Amenahariam and with Aram Zobah, when Joab returned and smote Edom in the valley of Salt, 12,000. O the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thou hast cast us off, thou hast scattered us, thou hast been displeased. O turn thyself to us again. Okay? And that's all we had to do. Hold on, let me get that one. Hold on. 1 Kings, where's that? Chapter 8, verse 23. And he prayed. Who did this? King Solomon. And he said, O Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of Israel, there is no power like thee in heaven above or on earth beneath, who keepest covenant and mercy with thy servants that walk before thee with all their heart. That's the point. Thy servants that walk before thee, in other words, that rehearse the righteous acts found in Judges chapter 5, verse 11, and the righteous acts are found in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And the only people that are men in the eyes of the Lord are men that he's chosen from the foundation of the earth. Okay? His elect, the remnant. Okay? The rest are just wild brute beasts that live without law, that say the law is done away with, right? With all their heart, who has kept with thy servant David my father, that thou promised him. Thou spakest also with thy mouth, and hast fulfilled it with thine hand, as it is this day, right? Where we've been scattered amongst the people. Okay, it tells you that in Daniel chapter 9, verses 11 and 12, right? Because of our continued disobedience and not keeping his laws. Verse 25, now therefore, O Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of Israel, keep thy servant David thy father, which thou hast promised him, saying, there shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Israel, so that thy children take heed to their way, that they walk before me as thou hast walked before me. See? See what I'm saying? So that's all, that's a promise, a covenant that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai had made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then made it also with King David. The sure mercies of King David. That's what we look for here in these last days against Esau eating this goddamn devilish Neanderthal. Okay? Okay. Hold on, let me see if I can. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 33. When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, and pray, and make supplication unto thee in this house. Okay. So we can't go to Jerusalem because we've been scattered. So the spiritual Sodom in Egypt is America, where we've been scattered to. So on a spiritual sense, like it says in 2 Maccabees chapter 5, verse 19, the children, the Most High had chosen the people for the place's sake, not the place for the people's sake. So that means spiritually that wherever we're scattered, we are Jerusalem, a people before it's a place. So the city of Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, wherever we're scattered to. So whatever captivity and whatever nation that we've been scattered to, once we start rehearsing the righteous acts of the Most High and turn to the east and seek his face, and which is rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. We can't keep the law perfectly. Okay, we can't be saved by the law, but it's through faith and the grace and mercy that has been afforded us by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, by sending his only begotten son to lay down his life and shed his precious blood for those individuals that are willing to turn from their sins and seek his face and rehearse the righteous acts. Whatever mistakes that they make at that time, when they willingly do this, willingly with their whole heart, okay, those individuals are going to be saved. Because the children of Israel number as the sands of the sea. And if you go to any seashore and pick up a hand of sand, each granule you just picked up is a living soul. How many people did you pick up? See? When thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn to thee and confess thy name and pray and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven and forgive the sin of thy people, and bring them again into the land which thou gavest unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? When heaven is shut up and there is no rain, because they have sinned against thee, and if they pray toward this place and confess thy name and turn from their sin when thou afflictest them, then hear thou in heaven and forgive the sin of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk. Right? How is the Most High doing this? Jeremiah chapter 3. Okay. Verse 12, let's start there. Go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thine iniquity that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith the Lord. Stockholm Syndrome, where they fall in love with their slave masters. Right? Verse 14, Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you unto Zion, and I will give you pastors. This is my point, how the Most High is going to give us his word. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart. Men risking their lives and freedom on those street corners to tell you the truth to your face. Breaking down the biblical scriptures as they are written, in spirit and in truth. Regardless of how you feel and what your feelings. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings. It's about obedience. Period. Okay? Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Okay? Going back to 1 Kings chapter 8. Where was I at? Verse 36, 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 36. Then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sins of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way. And how we're teaching you the good way in the valley of dry bones, okay, in the land of darkness with no light in it. Spiritual Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, which is Babylon the Great. Okay. This is where we teach you the good way. This is how we teach you to your face, right? Wherein they should walk and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. And if there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, if there be the caterpillar, if their enemies besiege them in the land of their cities, where whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, spread forth his hands toward this house. Then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive, and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. For thou, even thou only, knowest the hearts of all the children of men, that they may fear thee all the days that they live in the land which thou gavest unto our fathers. Okay? And then, as concerning the Israelite Gentiles scattered amongst the heathen nations, moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of thy people Israel, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake, right? Because we would no longer be a part of Israel, because we would become uncircumcised and would be looked upon as the heathen. You understand? Okay? The circumcision are the Israelites that know that they're Israelites. They know the name of their God. Okay? The individuals that call upon Jesus Christ that don't know the name of their God would be accounted as the strangers and the Gentiles found in Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. There's neither Jew nor Greek. Okay? But all can come to repentance. Those individuals are referring to these strangers that come from a far country. They come from a far country because they were scattered there as part of their punishment by not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and they were there for generations. And they believe and live the social norms. They believe in the false gods and idols of the nations in which they were raised. They wear the clothing of the heathen nations in which they were raised. So anyone that sees them would think that they're one of the heathen nations. Okay? But their seed line goes back to their fathers. And those individuals that are devout men found in second act, the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 5, those devout men are these strangers, a people that are not of thy people Israel. They're uncircumcised in heart and in mind. Right? But they realize and have been told that they are the Israelites scattered abroad. And remember, as I said earlier in the video, their bloodline and their seed line had been intermingled with the heathen nations. So they look like the heathen nations. They get tattoos like the heathen nations. They cut their hair like the heathen nations. They do all of the social norms. They eat the foods, violating the Levitical law of the heathen nations. So in essence, they would be cut off from their people Israel. So they would be strangers. Okay? For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm. Those are the same devout men that heard of his great name. who sent Yahushua HaMashiach. Those individuals came to see the great miracles that Yahushua HaMashiach was doing amongst the people, that it spread so far and wide. That's the reason why they came. They came, all of those from Phrygia. Okay, let's go get it. Acts chapter 2, verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem JEWs, JOOs, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Okay? Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. Okay? Those individuals are making reference to the strangers found in 1 Kings chapter 8. Okay? The uncircumcised, because they've been Hellenized. And what it means to be Hellenized is that you were born and raised in the customs of the nations in which you had been scattered to as captives. And you had been there so long, okay? Just telling you what the definition of Hellenism is, okay? You have been raised in the customs and belief systems and the religious belief systems of those heathen nations in which you were scattered to. So those devout men dwelling at Jerusalem out of every nation under heaven were the uncircumcised Israelite foreigners, the Gentiles that had been scattered into other nations from before. Okay? Now, they don't tell you about the Grecian captivity. These goddamn Edomites. They go straight from the Medo-Persian captivity straight to the Roman captivity in the Bible. From the book of Malachi straight to Matthew. They don't tell you about 1st and 2nd Maccabees, how the Israelites were treated in the lands where they were still practicing being Israelites and sacrificing at the temple. Okay, where Antiochus Epiphanes, a Roman emperor, or what do they call the fucking Caesar? Okay, went throughout all the nations at that time and sent a letter out there that they should be one people. Okay. And this is how they came apart. Hold on, let me see if I can find that for you. Okay? Let's see if I can find that. 1st Maccabees, right? Oh, shit. Salakia. Do it again. 1st Maccabees. 1st Maccabees. Chapter 1. Verse 41. I pray that my relationship with God. Okay, see? Ain't nothing I can do, man. Okay? Now, this is a prayer that they would need to use, but they would use the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And the word of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. His name wouldn't be Jeebus Crossed, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed white man that you see on the screen in front of you. Okay? These devils had our Bible in their hand for over 500 years, and they changed everything around. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, and so the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yep, also many of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Right? See? And they decided to pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Right? So you can't pray over some fucking pork chops and expect the Most High to bless you. Okay, that's going to cause you high blood pressure and stroke and everything else. Okay? That they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 48. To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. Where does it say that? It says the same thing in Isaiah chapter 24, doesn't it? Verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. And where's the everlasting covenant? Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Right? Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, and every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Okay? Now, if you go to Daniel chapter 9, it tells you, okay, what happened. Daniel chapter 9, verse 11. Yep, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they may not obey his voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. This is the reason why we were scattered into all these different nations, and Antiochus Epiphanes came and changed the law, that they changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, right? That we would forget the law and say that the law is done away with. That's what makes us uncircumcised, heathen, and strangers, according to the law. Okay? So, by the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and his great and abundant mercy, sending his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, to sacrifice his life and lay down his life and shed his blood as an atonement for the sins of those individuals called strangers. In 1 Kings chapter 8, was that 36, 38? Right? The strangers in 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 41, moreover, concerning a stranger that is not of thy people, but cometh out of a far country for thy name's sake, for they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm. When he shall come and pray toward this house, hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and do according to all that the stranger calleth for thee to do, or calleth to thee for, that all people of the earth may know thy name, to fear thee as do thy people, Israel, and that they may know that this house which I have builded is called by thy name. You see what I'm saying? Jerusalem, Yasharallah. Okay? Jerusalem. Okay? And it has the Father's name. Yasharallah. Yah. Okay? But doesn't have anything to do with Yah Israelites, because they go completely off left field and left kilter, wearing t-shirts and with fringes on every goddamn thing. Got fringes on a car, stupid shit like that. Going too far. They're going above and far beyond. Okay? Letting everybody know who they are. Okay? These individuals, they just been misled a bit. They just need to be guided into the right way. That's it. Okay. But anyway. First Kings chapter 8, verse 46. And if they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not, and thou be angry with them, and deliver them to the enemy, so that they carry them away captives unto the land of their enemy, far or near, yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and done perversely, we have committed wickedness, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember? The city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name, then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven, thy dwelling place, and maintain their cause. And forgive thy people that have sinned against thee, and all their transgressions wherein they have transgressed against thee, and give them compassion before them who carried them away captive, that they may have compassion on them. For they be thy people and thine inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt from the midst of the furnace of iron, that thine eyes may be open unto their supplication of thy servant, and unto the supplication of thy people Israel, to hearken unto them in all that they call for unto thee. For thou didst separate them from among all the people on the earth to be thine inheritance, who are Israelites. Romans chapter 9, verse 4. To whom pertaineth the adoption? Is this not an adoption? See? The glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the services of the Most High, Yahweh, and the promises of salvation. Right? See? See? For thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth to be thine inheritance, that thou speakest by the hand of Moses thy servant, when thou broughtest our fathers out of the land of Egypt, O Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Now going back to, where was I at? Go back. that they, 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 48, that they should leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. That's the reason why you had the scribes and the Pharisees, who were part of the circumcision, who were inwardly ravening wolves, inwardly dead men's bones, inwardly whited sepulchres, right? And why he sent Paul the apostle to the uncircumcision, who were sincere in heart, who wanted to learn about their father, who wanted to learn that they were Israelites, who wanted to rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High, which is to fear him and keep his commandments to the best of their ability, where the grace and mercy of Yahushua would cover them where they make their mistakes in keeping the law. The law was never done away with. Okay. Alrighty. Now, since I said all of that, let's get back to this war that Esau Edom has proposed that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to bring upon all the people. Right? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 6, Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Like I said before earlier in Proverbs, let's go get another proverb. Proverbs, where is it at? Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. Damn it. Go back. Salakia. A man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? See? So if you go back to Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai put it in the mind of these devils to destroy each other from off the face of the earth. And if you go to Revelation, chapter 17, it tells you right here. Victory for the Lamb. Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. Who is the Lamb? Yahushua HaMashiach, right? For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. How is he going to overcome them? Okay. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. You have to turn back to the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai with your whole heart. All right. So this way he could write your name in the book of remembrance. Right? Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one unto another. How do we do that? On these video epistles. Through the comment boards. Right? And the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. Right? So if you turn back to the Lord and seek his face with your whole heart and rehearse the righteous acts and keep those laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. Okay. Salakia. Okay. Salakia. Okay, hold on, wait. Hold on, don't say nothing. Salakia, man. You know, it's supposedly laundry day. You know, it's virtually impossible to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. It is. It's true. It's impossible. But I try to do the best I can, you know, and I'm trying to tell you, to implore with you to do the same thing. You know what I mean? The Most High had sent pastors according to his heart that feed you with knowledge and understanding. And this is some of the knowledge and understanding that the Most High had imparted unto me. And I'm sharing it with you. Okay? Right? And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord and that thought upon his name. So it is very important that you have to know the name of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the name of his son. Right? Like it says in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? And we all know that Yahushua HaMashiach ascended up into heaven, like it says in the book of Acts chapter 4, verse 6 through 9. No, the book of Acts chapter 1, verses 6 through 9. Salakia. Okay? Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended and it tells you that he's going to descend from heaven with a shout. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, right? Verse, 15 through 18? Okay. Let's get it. Okay. I'm sorry about being all over the place. Okay. Okay. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Right? And those that are dead in Hamashiach are those dead bodies that they will not suffer to be put in graves, that the Most High sent pastors according to his heart that feed them with knowledge and understanding, so this way they would be able to rehearse the righteous acts and to be saved when Yahushua descends from heaven with a shout. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Okay? This is an opportunity for you to get the fuck out of here and stop working 2 or 3 different jobs, man. All you have to do is get down on your knees and pray to the Lord, turn to the east, pray to the Lord, call upon the name of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. Yahweh means he is, he exists. The name Yahushai means he is deliverance. He is the deliverer. He is salvation. That's what it means. Yahweh Shai. He is Shai, salvation. Okay? It's that simple. That's in the Lashawan Kodash. It's simple. It's easy. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, makes everything overly complicated. So this way you'll get confused and confounded and you don't know what to do and you don't know who to ask help from. You see? They're doing this shit deliberately to you on purpose, man. We tell you to your face, but you don't get it. Okay? Now, where was I at? I forgot. Damn. Okay. Right? Whatever. But like I said before, oh yeah, that's right. Habakkuk, let's go over there. Habakkuk chapter 2. Yep. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. What is faith? The substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders had good report. Who are the elders? Our fathers. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses. Right? Who are elders? Our elders. Right? Joshua. Right? King Hezekiah, maybe. He was an elder. He became an elder at the end of his life. He repented. He turned back to the Lord with his whole heart. And the Most High heard him and gave him an extra 15 years. And told him to put some, what do they call them? Some dates. The pulp of a date on the bottom of his foot with some healing herbs. And he was made whole on those boils. Okay? That's medicinal herbs from the earth. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua tells you, do not abhor them, for they'll save your life. Okay? But Esau Edom is going to press national emergency and martial law under Agenda 2030 and says they're going to put an end to all natural medicines. You got to go this pharmaceutical way. And the pharmaceuticals are carcinogenic as a basis. Right? This is not medical misinformation. No, it's not. Okay? Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yep, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. This motherfucker's been putting out all kinds of different laws and legislation and unrighteous decrees and grievous law that he prescribed through his executive orders, right? And pissing everybody off, right? He's a proud man. He doesn't keep at home. He's on everybody's fucking business in different parts of the world now, right? He brought Zelensky over here, off in their business, trying to say, hey man, we're going to get out of your business, knowing they're telling a fucking lie. But you'll get out of their business and let Russia take them over, which I don't give a shit about either nation. I really don't. But go over and help the Israeli to kill and destroy and delete Men, women, and children that have no weapons to fight back in order to find a mysterious mythological enemy that doesn't exist? You did the same goddamn thing with the COVID bullshit. Right? Who enlarges his desire is hell, right? He wants to make Canada and make Greenland part of the United States. This is his desire. And then he wants to spread hell amongst these nations, like he's doing with the people here. Right? And is as death, sending his goddamn natural Gurkha troops into all these different countries in order to push martial law. And he can't be satisfied. Now you heard in the interview with the woman Batra Romo, whatever how you pronounce her last name, okay, that they're talking about taking natural resources from different countries. Yes, we need those natural resources. Yeah, and he just blew it off. Right? These motherfuckers can't be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples. Okay? Look at the proud. They trust in themselves, and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to the Most High. Right? Is this not the first president of the United States that is a goddamn convicted felon? So is he not crooked? What the hell? Okay. Wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, and like death they are never satisfied. In their greed they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. See? But soon their captives will taunt them. They will mock them, saying, what sorrow awaits you, thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. They're saying that on TikTok every 5 minutes. They're putting up a different TikTok video. This is what America's going to get. This is what America deserves. We deserve it. We deserve it. Right? You've become rich by extortion. By how much longer can this go on? Is not Donald Trump using extortion right now on the people with these goddamn executive orders, pushing these tariffs? Tariffs is extortion. Right? Okay. But anyway, this is what this motherfucker's doing, man. Everybody's had to spend money on nuclear weapons, but if used, it's probably the end of the world. Come on, man.
Militarily, or you make a deal. I would prefer to make a deal because I'm not looking to hurt Iran. They're great people. I know so many Iranians from this country.
Well, not the leadership.
No, not the leadership.
The people.
They're very evil people. No, but the people of Iran are great people. I hope that Iran, and I've written them a letter saying, I hope you're going to negotiate.
Negotiate, or we want you to
I didn't
negotiate.
say you better do something because you can't let them. Not in these days. I'd love to cut defense spending, but not now. Because you have China, you have Russia,
Yeah,
you have a lot of problems out there. No.
In fact,
what I have said is we spend a lot of money on nuclear missiles, nuclear weapons. The level of destruction is beyond anything you can even imagine. It's just bad that everybody has to spend all this money on something that if it's used, it's probably the end of the world.
Okay? This motherfucker's serious about this, man. Okay? He wants the end of the world. Okay? That's what he want to get. No bullshit. Jeremiah chapter, nope. Let's go to 51. Right? Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. What type of destroying wind has they got? Nuclear weapons. Okay? And will send unto Babylon fanners, and they shall fan her. Who are the fanners? The fanners are the chariots of the Lord, which are 20,000, even thousands of angels. They are the fanners. And shall empty her land. Right? In the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Okay? So the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is putting in the mind of this goddamn devil, okay, to make all of these heathen nations rise up against them. to destroy them from off the face of the earth, man. This is a great day. This is a great time to be alive, man. Okay, we actually get to see the biblical prophecies executed before our face, to see the biblical prophecies come to pass before us. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. After they implement martial law. For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, but of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee ye out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. What is iniquity? Sin added unto sin, unrepented of. Right? For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Right? Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. Right? Believing her wicked philosophies and her covenants and peace agreements and peace treaties and tariffs and all of these different things. Right? The nations have drunken of her wine. So the nations believed America that they were going to make them rich, which America did, because America is a consumer nation. Okay? But now they're using extortion and excess. Right? Which are doing what? Therefore, the nations are mad. Mutually assured destruction. Let me see if I can find deal with that image with that. Okay. Let's see if I can get down here to the my nuclear stuff, all my nuclear pictures. I had a bunch of them in a row. I'm hoping I didn't pass it. Okay. Bunch of nuclear pictures. Hey. Okay. Let me see. Boom. Boom. Mad. The nations, therefore the nations are mad. Mutually assured destruction. Thermonuclear heat. Okay. This is what they want to do. The dead hand system. That's the reason why he wants to make a negotiation with Iran, so Iran don't burn up America. He want to negotiate with Russia, so Russia don't run up America, because these elite motherfuckers at the top, they know that the biblical prophecy says in Ezekiel chapter 38 that the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to put it in their mind and to agree to destroy them from off the face of the earth. Also says the same thing as in Revelation chapter 17. Okay? Let's get it. Revelation chapter 17. Okay. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Right? So the woman that sitteth on the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns is America. America controls EU and NATO. EU and NATO is the beast. Okay? You can't get on that side. Get on the other side, man. Salaki, man. Okay. Anyway. Salakia. Okay. Like I said before earlier in the video, is laundry day. Anyway. I mean, Satan is a motherfucker. This motherfucker do anything to quench the spirit, man. Okay? But anyway, the video has probably been going on too long anyway. Right? But anyway. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, unto the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So the world is going to be in the hand of the wicked until the words of the Most High are fulfilled against America, Babylon the Great, and everything is being set up for these 3 biblical verses to come to pass. And the woman, America, which thou sawest, is that great city, Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. See? So everything is being set up right now for these 4 biblical passages to come to pass. Okay, so with all that, without further ado, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahweh Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth, who rule well, found in in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.